back to today's episode on the Supernova podcast. Today we have Ahmed, Hussain, and Kwaku. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you?
Oh, good.
Fine, tired, but we're good.
Good.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your project for our viewers?
We're working for Toronto Art Therapy Institute, and it's one of the oldest institutions within Toronto for art therapy. And what we're doing for them is marketing research and making some marketing videos for them. So it started off with a lot of brainstorming with them, with their team at their office. And we decided that we would do some podcasts and sort of an educational video, I would say, for them. So we've shot 2 podcasts in person and one remotely, and then one more video that we made for them.
Awesome. And is this was this their idea of doing a podcast? Was it your idea?
As I said, it came up during the brainstorming sessions with them, so it was like both of our ideas, I'd say. But they were keen on doing a podcast because they liked the whole concept of a podcast, and we were pretty open about it as well, I guess.
Yeah, also it shows in our research that podcast has highest engagement in terms of different channels and different media.
You gotta reach the right audience nowadays.
And to add to what they said, so clients had something in mind in terms of like what message they wanted to convey. And then we, with our background in digital media, when we studied at Toronto Metropolitan University, we came up with how we we're going to give the idea they had legs through digital media. So podcast was one of them, and then infomercial and streaming videos was another part. So we combined the two because podcast has like a video element and then an audio component. And then the infomercial video has like the video component of everything that Tati represents. So that was our way of, combining digital media and traditional media to convey a message.
It's a really great way of using innovation like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I have a few questions for you guys. I have them written down on my phone. All right. So let's get started. First one is, what sparked the initial idea of your project, and was there an aha moment?
I think the initial scope of the project was that Tati wanted to produce some educational videos about who are they and what they stand for, and then we planned a couple of co-creation workshops so that we crystallize this idea, identify the target audience, and really make the message really crisp. And this is how we came up with the initial idea of the project, to have a specific target audience, specific message, specific channel out of these workshops.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, the next question is, what's one word or phrase you think people should take away from your project?
Oh, I think for me, that would be, based on everything I've heard, based on the interviews and everything, that would be inclusion, because what they perceive or what is perceived as art therapy is different depending on where you come from. And also there are these new ways, they are tapping into the whole idea of art therapy. There's one lady that has an open studio where people actually come and help others mend, their shoes, their jackets and everything. And from the surface, it doesn't look like art therapy, because art therapy is supposed to be like a journey where you're supposed to, or at least it's been packaged as a journey or a healing process. But the whole idea of helping, coming together to help someone mend their jackets, and every personal item we have has a story. So as we're mending a jacket for you, you could say, oh, it's for my grandmother and everything. So now we're getting to know your grandmother, we're getting to know where the jacket came from, and that's a beautiful thing, because really and truly, everything we have has a story. But most times we don't even look at it as such. We just go ahead with our lives and everything. But personal effects have personal stories, and to me, you can't.
I agree.
I think Kwaku stole my word.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
I apologize.
I'm kidding. My word would be empathy, because I think what we've done with the podcast especially, and the people that we've interacted at their institution, they come from a very diverse community. Like, they're racialized art therapists, they're people from the Indigenous community, they're people from lots of various communities, and they're coming there just to help others. So I think it was, for me, mostly would be just one word: empathy. Like, they've taught us to empathize, and I think we've learned a lot from them.
Sweet.
Yeah, for me, I would say misconceptions, because there are a lot of misconceptions about art therapy. A lot of misconceptions that I had about art therapy. One of which is that art therapists can read your art, so can tell you what you have drawn. This is not how it works, and yeah, so a lot of things that I misunderstood. I just was impressed by knowing this is not true.
Have you also kind of identified any misconceptions that kind of clarified on your end, or was it just personally for you?
I think
For me, I think, yeah, I tap into it because, again, as I said, my idea of art therapy was what was packaged and what was sold to us as someone reading your artwork and telling you what your format could be or anything. Yeah, but now speaking with or hearing these resource people speak, my idea of art therapy has completely changed. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it comes with a lot of misconceptions because it's a form of psychotherapy which people are not familiar with.
Right.
So I think all three of us, when we started off with the project, we didn't know anything about art therapy, and we had, through our interviews with people, with both the clients and the art therapists, we've learned a lot. Like there was, again, like from like the smaller art misconceptions of like they can't read your art, to the bigger ones, like about what the whole thing stands for. It's not just people going into a room drawing stuff. It's a modality for them to express themselves. So I think it's a pretty cool thing. Like,
You guys get the chance to kind of create your own art and have them kind of
we're not at that stage yet.
No,
But yeah,
But if you consider the videos produced art, so
Yeah.
True.
yeah, that's the right answer.
All right. Thank you for that. All right. Our next question is: if you could collaborate with any famous person, dead or alive, who would you pick and why?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he literally gave us what we know as music videos now. So, like, yeah, he's, the pioneer when it comes to that. Just joking. But if I could pick one person, definitely it would be Lee Daniels, because he actually tackles stories like these. Talk about Precious. Precious it almost didn't feel like a movie. It was almost as though we were planted in the story when we saw it happening live. It wasn't like they were acting. So these ones, these stories that have been told by these resource people, I wish I could channel his inner, energy and get people to be in the story and not just look at it as something they are watching or something they are just looking at, but they have to live it. And yeah, if I could collaborate, it would be with him. Yeah, Lee Daniels.
Great answer.
You want to go first? Or are you still thinking?
yeah.
Okay, I think this is a difficult question, so I'm just gonna say. So it could be dead people, right? So I'd probably go with like any dead king. So they'd like have like a bigger budget for us.
Oh, okay.
And like better equipment. And like the nice sort of kings, not the ones that like cut your head like if you're not if you're like not good with your project. So probably a nice, like very wealthy king.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
And a dead one.
interesting. Yeah, I would say one of the racialized pioneers of art therapy, because one of the things that Tati wanted to highlight was actually the contributions of racialized pioneer art therapists that they say are not recognized enough. So maybe if we could have someone talk about their own work, that would have been very nice.
I like that. That's good. All right. Our final question.
Okay.
We're ready.
If you had to give a shout out to someone for this project, who would it be? Who helped you make this such a big success?
I'm gonna be very honest. Like I think it's the two of them. Yeah, we've been.
OGs.
They've been a very great team. Like I don't think there was any sort of point during our whole project where we would be like, it's too difficult to get through. So both of them like have been extremely helpful. Everyone's done their part, and I hope they can say the same for me. But yeah, I would give the shout out to both of them because they worked really hard for this, and I'm just lucky to be a part of their team.
I would have the same answer. So, yeah.
Okay, see, that's great. Having such a supportive team makes the entire experience that much more memorable and more successful. Because without that, you guys are gonna crumble. You guys going through like a lot mentally. So I'm glad that you guys were able to make it
one more
further.
person as well.
Okay, yes.
There is a student at Teddy called Kate.
Oh, yes.
She was super supportive and super helpful. So
Shout out to Kay.
Yeah, definitely.
But to add to what they said, I mean, these two are amazing. Ahmed, like we shoot the projects and everything, and on our bus ride back to our homes, Ahmed would, ask for what's going on in our personal life in terms of like work and everything. And as much as it just seems like conversation, it was in itself therapy, because really and truly moving into a new country, almost finishing school, not knowing what next, just want to talk about it. And Ahmed is always ever ready to listen. He's not judgmental. He will just give you constructive criticism. Have you tried this? Have you spoken to this person? It's really been helpful.
Thank you.
And Hussein, I mean, he's definitely one of my closest friends in the program. He's a souvenir I'm taking from the program. We're going to be lifelong friends. I just know it. He always has like some snacks or some words of encouragement, something. Like, I know Hussein is a life hack. Let me just put it that way. So I'm happy to have you guys.
Nice.
Yeah. So these two people, and then also to Michael, our classmate here. He's been helpful, to me right from the onset, and it spans from schoolwork to something as mundane as the TTC, what time to get there, what apps to use and everything. So these three people for me, shout outs to you.
Okay, well, that is the end of today's session, guys. So thank you so much for joining us, and we're all looking forward to your project for Industry Day. And thank you again.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having us.
Yep.